Hey everybody, Sagittarius998, Adam here, and I'm going to play a challenge that was posted on the Geoguessr subreddit, which was basically with the message, challenge us, we're not good at geography. Well, I decided to make this video to sort of share my strategies like I've done with other videos, and just, to actually play the challenge. So I did peek at it a little bit. It is a 3-minute challenge. I'm playing this as 2-level difficulty. It was not specified, so I don't know if the original 4 people that played it, I think, played it as a 1 or as a 3. I'm playing it as a 2. I doubt it was as a 3 because I see that's a more advanced level, but who knows? Some people start off with that. They don't like moving. They can't because the internet's bad, whatever. It's not loading. There we go. Okay, desert landscape. Looks like Peru, maybe. Palo Santo. Ministerio de Cultura. Yeah, I'm not really sure. It's the bridge of Palo Santo. That's the coastline, it appears. Or a big lake. Probably the coastline. So, western coastline, definitely South American. Here we've got markers like that. Black and white markers, those are found in Peru, as well as a couple other countries. I've done the beginner's guide to South America. You can look there in more specifics about how to tell apart each country. But here, I think this is Peru, somewhere on the Peruvian coast. Since there's no, well, there are mountains, but there's fewer mountains. I think it's going to be up in the north. Coming into a town, it appears, and slowing down to 60. Got still half the time available. Over a minute 30. Well, it appears we're not coming into a town. Yeah, it was just that. And quite a long stretch of roadway overall. The kilometer markers were in the 190s, so it's a fairly sizable road. I'm not sure how much more I'll be able to find in 1 minute, but we definitely see some coast. So let's zoom into Peru. I'm thinking here. Let's scan this. There's some coastline here. Could it be this? Maybe. I don't think it is. But it could be. Could be a number of things. It could be over in this part. That's still Peru? Yeah, that's still Peru. Yeah, probably right down in this. Punta Sal. What was the beginning? Bridge? I forgot the name. Here it is. Palo Santo? Yeah, Puente Palo Santo. Well, we're on the coast, right? So 170 kilometers or 190 in here somewhere. Perhaps. There's not really water. There's water. We didn't come into a town though. We're heading north-south. I mean, it's too wide to be that. Well, we got 7 seconds, so I'm sticking with where my guess is. And it was up north. Somewhere in here. Yeah, unlabeled. There really wasn't any way that I could have figured that out. Obviously, if I had more time, possibly, and I'd gone north, I could go into Bocapan, or this town, which is unlabeled. But other than that, yeah, northern Peru. It's flat. It's not as mountainous as the other parts of Peru, and it had the signage appropriate for Peru. It was a nice location. Next round, looks like Russia. Blue signage, so, yep. Not helpful information on that sign. So, Brasilon. A little slow this morning. Not really sure why. The movement seems to have actually sped up a little bit compared to previous days. And a few other people noticed this, I think, or at least 90. So maybe they did do something to improve the movement a little bit. It's still obviously the fluid motion as you see, but here it's back to slow. I don't really know that it's reversed to slow, or that it's just my internet's a little slow today, which I think is a bigger issue, because you see it's not loading appropriately in time. Yeah, I don't. Okay, well, let's take a look from a 3 perspective. This is southern. Okay, it's southern Russia. It's deserty type landscape somewhere around Astrakhan area. I don't think we're on the main road. We're going east, so no, we're not on the main road going from Moscow to Astrakhan, but we could be on a secondary road. Here's a kilometer marker. Actually, no, it's not a kilometer marker. It's the M6, which is the main road. So it's an east-west stretch of the M6. And here's a kilometer marker, 1240, coming from the north, 151. Yep, so we're 151 kilometers from Astrakhan, which is in southern Russia. The way I know that is that's where the M6 ends. The M6 is the E119 in this stretch. So it's an east-west stretch, about 119 kilometers, which would probably put us maybe in here somewhere. Let's see if I can't find a town sign towards the town. There's a town in that direction. There should be a sign at this intersection. I don't see one, though. No sign, unfortunately. And taking a look ahead, in 28 seconds, I'm not getting to any of that. So let's just estimate this. This could be 119, right? I mean, any of these could be, really. This could be 119. I mean, we didn't go by Vostok. Fedorovka could be this intersection. Where did I start? 8 seconds left. I started before a curve, so it would be like here, like there. And it was correct. 5,000 points, 120 meters off, a little bit further north. So this was basically curve matching. That's too close to Astrakhan. So those two were really possibly that, but that was too long. So these two were the two possible options. And this one had the town of Vostok. This one did not have a town, while we did cross a fairly large road by rural Russia standards going into a town. So this seemed to be the correct option. One thing to note is that in southern Russia, you're obviously, I mean, you're at the latitude of what? Here, Austria, Switzerland, France. Distances are going to be fairly standard size. If you go up here in Russia, 100 kilometers is going to look a lot more than down there in Russia, simply because of the Mercator projection. Areas like this island here, Severna Zemlya, I think. No, it's Novaya Zemlya, I think. This island is nowhere near that big if you were to place it at the equator. Same thing with Greenland, for example. So you have to watch that in northern Russia, but in southern Russia, it's pretty standard for distances. That was okay. And the next round. Okay. Not an easy seed, this one. We appear to be in Thailand, somewhere in Asia. We have some tropical vegetation, motorbikes. There's a car, quite an old car. Actually, it's a truck. Could be Thailand, could be Indonesia, I suppose. Philippines as well. All three of those do have Street View. Cambodia, in addition. I'm leaning towards Indonesia at the moment. It's not the arrow I wanted to click. This one. Ahead. There we go. What is the language? That's the cigarette ad. Yeah, but there's a woman with a hijab. I believe we are going to be in Indonesia here. Indonesia has a large prevalence of smoking. So if you see a lot of cigarette ads, you're often in Indonesia just because of that. I believe it's something like 70% of men, at least, are smokers. So that's why there's so many ads, even in these rural villages and stuff. So that is the address. I don't really know what to make of it. Mosiman is probably the biggest city that I could look for here. But I don't see it. Of course, Indonesia is really big, which is not very helpful for this kind of stuff. Actually, look at all the islands. Nope, not on this one. Statistically, it's going to be on Java, but it might not have to be. Could be Sumatra as well, simply because of size. But Java is far more populated than Sumatra or any other of the Indonesian islands. So most of the time, it's on Java. That's the Indonesian flag. As if you didn't already know that, it's confirmation. So, I don't, landscape-wise, in general, I'm not very good at Indonesia. I'm not good at picking up exactly how the addresses are written and so on. And oftentimes, the towns aren't labeled until you zoom really, really far in. Here's a sign, for example. Hopefully we can get to that. There's just 20 seconds left, so we probably won't make use of it. Taman Surabaya. Surabaya, Malang. I think we're in here somewhere. Surabaya. There it is. That's to the east, so I'm like here somewhere. I'm just going to stick it in Surabaya, that way. Yep, 56 kilometers away. Oh, there's Malang. Okay. Makes sense. I guess we got to that, and then that went over to Surabaya. Yeah, so there are signs, and occasionally they are helpful, but a lot of times you see pinpointing this actual spot would have been very hard. You have a town here, the town's barely labeled. In fact, it's not labeled at all. Which means that it's often quite hard to actually pinpoint where you are in Indonesia, in addition to just the standard looking at signs and perhaps finding one to a larger town that is easier to find. I'll rate that 3 stars. Honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of Indonesia and Geoguessr. It's a little difficult. This one's not loading. There we go. Deserty landscape. One thing that you can look at the sun. The sun is pointing to the north, which means we're in the southern hemisphere, which means that quite likely we are in Brazil. This appears to be the northeastern Brazil scrublands, found in Rio Grande do Norte, Pernambuco. I addressed that in the beginner's guide to Brazil as well. You can check that out if you haven't already. Now, when it comes to these types of locations, oftentimes there's not too much in the way of signage. We are on a paved road. We are possibly even on a Brazilian national road. Even the fact that it doesn't have to be paved to be a Brazilian national road, as we've seen on the daily challenges a few times with the Brazilian 104, also in Rio Grande do Norte state. 3 minutes is not that much time, especially when you're on these long stretches of road without many clues. So, we barely got to sign in the Indonesian round, and, in here, we'll see. I mean, there's still plenty of time, but there's really nothing around here, and oftentimes these roads are poorly signed compared to other areas of Brazil. There's a sign up there. I believe it's just a warning about a curve, or some sort of other there's a curve right there, so that's warning about the curve. But I'm going to go up to that just in case. I mean, it's the only sign I see. There's really not much time anyway left, so I might as well. Perhaps it's something more. It is a bigger sign. Pedra Negra is a homestead, whatever. That probably has clues. Unfortunately, it's so rusted out that it's hard to see. There's MA, but I don't know that... This is not Maranhão State, I don't think. I'm sure the state's probably listed right there, underneath all the rust. But unfortunately, well, that's not helpful. Something more, let's just put down a point for now. I'm going to say in here. That's where I'm going to put that, because there's some mountains, but it's pretty straight roadway. 14 seconds, I'm not going to get there, so I'm making a guess. 667 kilometers off. I was closer, or we were closer actually to the green area than I thought, in Bahia. Some parts of Bahia are also a little deserty. You tend to think about this area, but it stretches down into here as well, and the green is a little misleading. I'll mark that 2 stars. Not much going on in that round. And then finally we end in what appears to be the U.S. Coastal style pines as opposed to northern style pines. I'm not really sure what the difference is, but I guess, I don't know, just being around the coast often of the eastern U.S., I've just picked up on how those pines look compared to places higher in elevation. Could be Virginia, this could be Maryland actually even, but I don't think it is. I think it's more southern Virginia, perhaps even further south than that. Could be all the way down to Louisiana, even Florida, honestly. Northern Florida could look like this. Southern, you get a little bit more palm trees, but there's some swamp areas. Somewhere in the American Southeast, more or less, is where this is going to be. So at this point, what you want to look at is this a state highway, as well as possibly, for example, these election signs, but they look to be local. Yeah, I think they're local. I'm seeing more southern, more tropical or semi-tropical style vegetation, which is, I'm thinking more, for example, South Carolina, maybe with this round, versus Virginia. There are front plates, they're white. South Carolina does not do white license plates, and they also don't do front license plates. Virginia, though, does. Louisiana probably doesn't do front license plates, but they do have white plates. So does Florida. North Carolina doesn't do front plates. And we're done in this direction. I don't know that I'll get anything quickly in this way. With license plates, you also have to take into consideration someone could just be traveling. I could just as easily drive down here with my Maryland plates and, you know, mislead people. So don't trust them 100%. We're going to Curry and Hampstead. I don't know Hampstead other than the one in New York, and this is not New York. I'll take a look. Could also be Georgia, I guess. Curry and Hampstead. Hampstead is quite far away. There's Hampton. I don't see either of the two. I don't think we're in Alabama. I think this is quite coastal. By that I mean Atlantic coast, not Gulf of Mexico. Well, we're done. So wherever I put my marker is where I'm guessing. We were in North Carolina, actually. There's Curry. Not sure where Hampstead was. Somewhere. I don't know. But that's it, basically. 22,593 is a pretty decent score, I would say. Certainly a tough round, or a tough seed. No doubt. You had rural Brazil in the desert part, which is the hardest, really. Peru's not very easy. Russia, I mean, it was a big road, but still, Russia, no signs. I just got lucky, and with some knowledge, you had Indonesia, which is always tough, and then Southeast U.S., which generally isn't, but you had a dead end. So, definitely a challenging seed, but I think, you know, hopefully some of the stuff that I showed was helpful to new players, or maybe even more seasoned players. And until next time, see you.